Super Dave here with another Super Dave review. Super Dave here with another Mattel Creations review exclusive to this year's 2023 San Diego Comic-Con exclusive. I wasn't able to be there, but I was able to get a hold of the motherboard. Just take a look at this box. See how big it is. Wow, it's got those wings that wrap around the brown shipper box, which it didn't actually come in this box, thank goodness, because my box that had that cue box opening music got kind of ripped up and damaged pretty bad. So that's the reason I didn't show that. But this is really awesome. Fortunately, other than just a little ding in the corners, this one made it unscathed. But just take a look at those outlined, like pencil art images of the motherboard. Just can't wait to just check this figure out. So without further ado, let's do that right now as we unbox Motherboard. Oh, wow. Just take a look. This is fresh out of the box. This box is just an artistic masterpiece in and of itself. Looks like that, you know, just technological Snake Mountain look that we saw in the Revelation, near the end of the Revelation, and supposed to be in the Revolution as well, cartoon coming out next year. But wow, that is so awesome. And of course, we want to open her up. All right, here we go. Oh, wow. Just take a look at that. Unbelievable. She is huge. And I just love this box. I mean, this box adds to the whole, you know, selling point of this whole gimmick, this whole idea of her being this, you know, this culmination of technology all coming together and forming the ultimate power instead of the sinful and toxic and unclean magic. You have the powers of pure technology. That's the whole gimmick behind what Triclops, I guess the priest, if you will, of this cult religion that they were trying to form in the series. But here is Motherboard, and she is directly tied to, we do believe, to Hordak, or the Horde somehow. Hopefully we'll learn more information about that in the Revolution miniseries coming out on Netflix. But this is just phenomenal. So just looking at this again, that's the box on the outside. And then as you see, it opens up right there, almost like a hinge. And there she is. We'll certainly take her out of the box here in just a moment and check her out. Interesting to note that these doors actually have some magnets built into the base back down here at the bottom, because when you open it all the way, it actually magnetizes so it stays in place, stays open. So that's kind of the way she's designed. That's kind of like her pod. I'm thinking 7 of 9 in Star Trek Voyager.
0600 hours. Regeneration cycle complete.
Pod kind of thing going on, where she charges or where she gets refreshed. You can even see, you know, the little technological things down here in the corners. Just so neat. We're going to unpack the plastic here and just see how she looks. I've not been able to see a bio of her on the box anywhere, but just to show you the bottom, you can see what that says down there in the bottom here by Mattel Creation. Really cool. All right, that's enough of the box. Let's go ahead and get this plastic out and check her over here at Snake Mountain that has been technologically altered. Okay, as you can see behind me here, we have slid her out of the box. So here she is in the plastic. There's these like plastic parts that kind of hold the door open or from getting, you know, scarred. But once you pull them out, you just slide her out, and you can see some stuff stored back here that go along with her base. And that base is really cool that she comes with, because you can see there's all kinds of wires and circuits built into that plastic, hard plastic base, and it will sit right down inside of that box display, that diorama display. So that is really cool. Again, it goes back to the, you know, feature that I believe is gonna be kind of her pod or her place to kind of be stored until she steps out into the world. But let's go ahead and get her out of this plastic prison as well. And here she is, the motherboard. And she is inside of her cove, her pod here. And you can see her in really good up close fashion here. We'll take her out of her pod and stretch out these awesome wings in just a moment, but just letting you see what she looks like on her stand. First thing, just kind of putting her in her spot. Really cool platform. This part is of course cardboard, but it's a really high quality laminated, almost like photo paper around it, quality of cardboard. And then the plastic base sits right down inside of that, and then you kind of plug that plastic stem so that it wraps around her waist. And then there you have her in her pod already. And that shows you part of what she comes with. Of course, you can see that she has gesturing open palm hands that are, you know, very long fingernails there. And then also she comes with a set of weapon holding hands, and they have big ball joints around them, but we'll have to check and see during articulation just how they perform. Is it a rotating ball joint like we see in some of our higher quality, higher end action figures, or is it just, you know, a horizontal hinge? We'll have to check that out. But that's interesting because you can kind of see some of those ball joints highlighted here at all of her joints. Looks like from the feet to the wrists, even to the elbows. That's going to be interesting to find out just how different her articulation is. But let's go ahead now and take her out of this cool box diorama and check out her wings and her wingspan and everything else that she comes with. All right, now let's go ahead and measure Motherboard here from the bottom of her toes to the top of her head. It is exactly 12 inches. So yes, she is 12 inches tall. Now let's measure the girth of these wings. They fold out here like so. That ball joint there near the shoulders, and then they're going to fold out again up here at the top close to this T joint there. Wow, just look at that. I'm not sure if we can even get it completely into camera view here. Yes, there we go. Now let's go ahead and measure how wide those wings are from one tip of the wing to the next. Yes, they are exactly 25 inches from this tip to that tip if they're completely spread out. 12 inches tall, 25 inches wide. Talk about some presence. That is just incredible. Incredible. Just amazing there. So you can definitely see how she measures up, and that is just so cool. All right, the only other thing that really I can find as far as accessories is connected to this big cape thing underneath, or a whole bunch of these like wiring pieces, and I would count that as accessories. So she has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 tentacle type wires that she can extend out and possess people with those, you know, nanobots that will turn, you know, those poor people, poor victims into a, I'm not even sure what you call them, a mechanical, technological being that will serve Motherboard. But here she is. Hopefully we'll learn more about her in the next series. But wow, she's just something else. All right, let's go ahead and check out her articulation. All right, as we go ahead and bring our Motherboard in a little closer here, I'm just gonna go ahead and show you this head. You're only gonna be able to go up about that much. Very limited on the amount of going up because it hits the back of this collar, and even just the back of her helmet hits the stem of her neck. So it's not really going to go up any further than that. She is going to be able to go down a good amount, look down on people. Still has kind of a bird motif like we see in Masters of the Universe, like the sorceress. I'm not sure if that's kind of like inspired, that she is also kind of like a mechanical goddess, sorceress, whatever, you know, with the whole look. But not going to be able to look up more than that, no more than that, down, and then you're not going to really get any pivoting either. Even if you do pivot it, it just bounces back in place, so it's not really going to be there. She's not going to be able to turn around all the way, not with the collar on, but she definitely is going to be able to look side to side, so that's good. Now let's go ahead and pop off this head. You can see it's a normal ball joint there and up inside there, so you can just lift off this entire apparatus here, and you see it has a peg coming out back here, and then this unfortunately does not have any wiring on it. Love this cape though. Beautiful cape, beautiful quality. The cape has just a gorgeous quality, and just the two-tone, actually it's three-tone. It goes from kind of a purplish pink fuchsia color to a lavender purple to a Carolina blue or a baby blue down here at the bottom. And there's those wiring things that we were talking about, and then the base, the plastic base here that everything's kind of attached to, and you can see the back of that. Just take a look at that, the gearing and those big things there, which I'm not sure if they have a purpose. They plug into something somewhere, I'm just not sure. That would certainly be cool. But you have, you know, those back here, maybe something that we already have that might be able to kind of stationary plug into that. I'm not sure, but I'm thinking Ava, my Ava figures. But anyway, I do have the wings folded up and then folded back. Instead of, you can fold them forward like so. You can fold those wings forward and kind of have them on either side of her, or you can fold them all the way back and have them behind her. So that's really neat, like so. But you can see that that apparatus there completely is removable. So we're going to lay that down here and get back to showing you that there is a peg on the back of Motherboard. And let's go ahead and pop her head back on. It's easy to do. She's not really going to be able to look any more further up, even with her head free of that collar. It just, see, the helmet just hits the back of the neck stem. So same amount of articulation. All right, this is where it gets a little disappointing. Even though, yes, she can get full 360 with those arms, there's no bicep swivel. And that's such a miss, because they could have easily done that. This is kind of following along the same lines as Classics did us when they did some of the figures that they did, like Titus and Megator, the giants that we got that were around that 12-inch mark with Classics. Maybe a little bit, actually a little bit shorter than 12-inch. We'll look at that in comparisons. But Procrustes had bicep swivel, but was limited in the torso. So she does have a torso crunch here, but before we look at that, she does only have single jointed elbows, so that's unfortunate. And these are not really any more premium than what we've got, and I thought maybe it was going to rotate so that you could get vertical or horizontal hinge at, you know, that ball joint both ways. But it's your typical Masters of the Universe, Masterverse type. Unplug that one, and we'll go ahead and plug in the corresponding left hand here, the weapon holding hand, so you can see that. And it is also horizontally hinged. So no vertical hinges with this motherboard. Still looks really nice, still looks high quality. Not sure if it's the quality of $69, $68, but you know, still looks good overall, especially with that cape and the boxing and the stand. Gets about a T-pose, 90 degrees there, a T-pose there as far as those arms. Moving those on out of the way, let's go ahead and look and see that she can crunch forward about that much. She can bend backwards a decent amount there. Looks pretty good, bending back, so that's going to give her some looking up ability. And she is going to be able to turn really well, that tripod style diaphragm, swivel to the left and to the right, and get some side to side motion there, as you can see. So that's good. No swivel at the waist though, so they robbed us of that. And oh, by the way, in the this you do have a swivel at the elbow, and so since you don't have the bicep swivel, you at least do get that swivel at the elbow to be able to move the arm around. And since she really doesn't have a whole lot of bicep, it's not as noticeable that, you know, you have this lump there and then you have the arm way off. It is a little bit more fluid in that sense. Going on to the legs, she's going to get full splits. I mean, just check that out. Amazing. She's also going to be able to kick up a really good amount. Again, you only get single jointed knees, and you do have a swivel at the knee, so this is almost like the classics in the later years of our Super 7 Ultimates, and even now the Thundercats. You get single jointed knees, but you do get the swivel at the knee. And then she's going to get not quite full tiptoes, but decent amount of motion. She'll go up just about all the way. And yes, she has rocker with a peg hole in the bottom. It looks like they're numbered on the bottom of their foot too, on that left foot. So that is just really cool. And so there she is, and that's her articulation. And we've already looked at the wings. So now let's go ahead and do some comparisons. And here is our priest himself, Triclops, and he is directing the crowd to listen to their leader, Motherboard, as she steps out to discuss and talk to all of her minions and those that will be following her, as well as new people that will be joining the ranks. Mighty, I don't know, technological revolution that is beginning with Motherboard. And like I said, we'll be learning more in the Revolution series. So this this is cool. And so let's go ahead and look at a few figures beside her. First, starting off with two figures that were in the Revelation cartoon or series that were seen with Motherboard near the end of that last episode, and that is Triclops in his cult leader outfit, as well as Trapjaw in his cult follower outfit. And I had a second outfit, so I've just put one on this random dude from Triclops. Got two Triclops action figures, so I can have one that look like a classics and one to look like this cult leader. But you can see how Motherboard towers over them. And another figure that was seen in the Revelation series is Blast Attack, but this is him in classics form there. So you can see how the classics measures up to Motherboard on the same level here, as well as, and I forget his name, but there's a Marvel Legends. That's an average size Marvel Legends character. I thought he looks good with those mechanical looking arms to kind of go along with this bunch. You can see how he measures in beside this Motherboard. So she's definitely just towers over all of them and just looks so cool alongside all of these action figures that went along with both the Revelation and whatever, you know, technological space or, you know, technology type action figures you might want to pair with her. Looking good. And here is our Motherboard next to our Motu Classics Procrustes, who is a giant, four-armed giant, protector of the star seed in the core of Eternia. Just awesome. Look, they're about at the same height. Procrustes may just be a tad taller because of that head And then there's Titus, the giant from ancient Eternia who helped build Grayskull Tower and was an ally. But really cool to see these. They, you know, measure in well. And again, these giants in classics were also single jointed, of course. All classics were single jointed elbows and knees, but didn't have much in terms of anything extra. Like Titus didn't have bicep swivel. Procrustes did, but neither had any diaphragm. So we didn't get bicep swivel, but we did get elbow swivel, and we do have a diaphragm joint. So, you know, overall I think she still wins out from classics in terms of giant figures, but we've never had a motherboard before. This is a first new storyline with this whole deal with the extended story on Netflix, and so we're looking forward to the revolution. Let's check out our motherboard with Hordak, and then we'll call it a wrap. And here's our motherboard next to Hordak, our Masterverse Hordak, looking cool. And we saw at San Diego Comic-Con, Wave 11, I believe, is going to have, or maybe 12, I forget now, getting them mixed up, but we're going to have a Skeletor having been transformed by Motherboard. So that means that one of these tentacles, or I think she actually at the end of the episode in Revelation actually used her finger on him, but she can use these tentacle wiring things to plug into a figure and download, I guess if you will, the nanobytes that will transform our Skeletor into more of a mechanical, technological, cybernetics, cyberbot, cyborg, part human, part machine. So, you know, there he is with a Hordak MX head sculpt, being like, what? What's gonna happen to me? And Hordak, I don't know if he's gonna be in on it or not. I don't know, there's all kinds of stuff coming down the pike. It's gonna be exciting. But there is Motherboard, and she is really cool. You're gonna really be able to use her for really whatever your storyline. You know, she could be, you know, just some form of goddess or some kind of creature that He-Man goes to visit, or Skeletor goes to visit, or you can follow the same storyline that the Revelation has built for us. Whatever you want to do with her, you could do. She's really cool. If they have any left, you can only get this at Mattel Creation, so go to mattelcreation.com, and you can also order you one as well. So she's so cool. Disappointed she didn't have a wired cape, but and the like bicep swivel and double jointed elbows and knees. But overall, I think she's very good. She doesn't get a 10 out of 10 though. I was kind of expecting that she would, but she didn't. But she is definitely, you know, I would give her probably a 7.5 out of 10 overall. But the packaging is definitely awesome. If you rated the packaging, I would say, you know, 9 out of 10. But and definitely these wings are cool. They seem to gonna hold up well. Certainly wouldn't want her to fall from a top shelf. But overall, I think she's really cool. And here's our cult leader himself, Triclops, and he, of course, was the cult leader of this technological religion. And this is kind of the way things looked at the end of the Revelation series, as things were kind of just decked out. And that's kind of what I thought of when I saw her from the back. Look at her from the back. That is how she looks. The colors of her wings are darker instead of that light blue. The light blue tones, you have the more dark purple tones, and then that really cool design here on her back, this section. And then look, even the cape has some neat patterns drawn in and designed there on the back of it, all the way up in there. So that is really neat. It flows all the way down to the bottom. And then there's the back of the box. You kind of see how that looks. Again, that kind of looks even like the way things were looking for us at the end of the Revelation series. So just really neat how this box can be used to decorate your Snake Mountain, to kind of turn it into that technology base that the motherboard operated from. And thank you so much for joining us for this Super Dave review. And we appreciate you coming, and please come back and see us again soon, as we'll be doing some more reviews. Got some cool things coming down the pike. Please like if you've enjoyed this video. Subscribe if you've not done so already. Also, comment if you have something to share, and we'll look forward to seeing you next time on another Super Dave review. Be blessed.